can't take it anymore! Everybody out! I wish things could go back to the way they were.
Bro, they're doing it again! They're doing it one more time! Another reboot after another after another! When the creator's gone, he can't even say yes or no, he can't react to any of this! That's literally all I've been hearing on Twitter ever since I read the exclusive from Deadline. They've gotten the exclusive about a Patrick spinoff. The second one, or third one if you want to count the Squidward spinoff series. And honestly, I'm a little bit flabbergasted at the idea, but you know what? Let's go through it together. SpongeBob's partner in crime is getting his own show. I have learned that Nickelodeon is finalizing deals for the Patrick Star Show, a SpongeBob SquarePants animated spin-off centered in on SpongeBob's best friend, Patrick Star, voiced by Bill Fagerbach.
Who lives like a barnacle under the sea?
Patrick
I hear voiceover recordings have already started for the project, which is expected to receive a 13-episode order and comes from the creative team behind the Mothership series. Now, in addition to Camp Coral and the SpongeBob movie, this would be another post-Hillenburg sort of deal and move to expand the SpongeBob universe into a franchise. And I guess we should just talk about the elephant in the room. This is something that we will never be able to find out if Hillenburg was or was not okay with. We do have certain tidbits of information, such as the tweet that Paul Tibbett put out a while ago that was talking about Camp Coral, or the miscellaneous interview where they talk about if Hillenburg would like to expand SpongeBob in a way and he would always move against it. There are some misconceptions about Hillenburg's opinions on SpongeBob. A lot of people on Twitter and around the community have said that Hillenburg most likely wouldn't have liked the modern incarnation of SpongeBob, so these past seasons. However, little do they know, Hillenburg came back as a showrunner for those seasons, so obviously he had his hand and his opinion in on the series. I wouldn't have expected him to come back if he hated where the direction of the show went. So it's because of things like that where I can't necessarily say that Hillenburg is against the way that Nickelodeon treats SpongeBob now. All I can do is talk about my perspective, as you can only talk about your perspective, and honestly just the whole thought of everybody trying to figure out what Hillenburg would like and what wouldn't like, it's just uncomfortable to me. Like, let that man rest. Yes, this is his show, but from a business perspective, unfortunately, now and before, you kind of have to give your intellectual property to the network if you want their distribution.
Aren't you gonna try and stop me?
That'll be $1.99, please.
What do you mean $1.99? You're not gonna step on me? I've got the secret formula, you know.
Anyone can have a secret formula. We sell them in the gift shop.
So to me, in fairness, it would only make sense for me not to believe that he would have or would have not been in agreement with where Nickelodeon is going. Yes, I can say it's a little bit fishy that they're doing all this now when he's not here to object or anything like that, but when he was here, Nickelodeon has made SpongeBob the figurehead of their animation-centric programming. You couldn't talk about Nickelodeon post 1999 without talking about SpongeBob, the SpongeBob movie, the expansion beyond season 3 to have more episodes, and a special here, a special there. Everything was kind of centered in on the sponge. Whereas you can say, at least with Cartoon Network, they've had different eras or different times where different programming would be prominent on the network. For example, as much as we used to meme Johnny Test, it used to be very prominent on the network as much as Teen Titans Go. Nickelodeon, on the other hand, doesn't have that sort of, we'll trade off this show is dying down, let's build another show that we can sort of center in a lot of the programming on. And it's actually a lot worse for them because in addition to centering in a lot of their programming on that, they have to split up their animated programming with live action. So the point I'm trying to make here is that while while he was here, Nickelodeon was already going in that direction of making SpongeBob their everything. Especially when you split their already limited network time with Nick Jr., sometimes Nick at Night, and their live action stuff. Now, as for the idea itself, I don't necessarily have too much of an issue with it right now. I have to see where they go with it. The article doesn't really say too much about it, but let's read what they do have. According to sources, the Patrick Star Show is in the vein of the Larry Sanders Show and Comedy Bang Bang, with Patrick hosting his own late night talk show. I hear the series will revolve around Patrick and his family. Fagerbuck is being joined by a largely new cast voicing new characters, with SpongeBob cast members expected to make occasional appearances, reprising their roles. It's crazy to me that I remember when I did my 7 ways that you should reboot SpongeBob, and one of the ways involved Patrick, and it actually did have to do with his family. I wanted to know more about the origins of his family, and I think it would have been a great route to have, like, again, if you want to do a 13 episode series, and 13 episode series revolving around finding out his origins, finding out his true parents, finding out more about his sister. All of that stuff to me seems a lot more entertaining than a talk show. I'm also just kind of skeptical with why they want to go with a talk show. Is it because of the prominence of that on YouTube? A lot of trending videos and a lot of what YouTube and the higher ups see as popular videos on the platform seem to stem from talk shows. Patrick as a character can do a lot, and he could probably do a lot with a talk show. But to me, if you were to extend the franchise and have these characters stand on their own, I feel like a talk show would be dating your character. It would make your character a lot limited in what they can do, and especially because of where Patrick is now, opposed to where he was pre-season 4, so basically like the first 3 seasons. I don't know where this is gonna go.
I'm in charge. I'm in charge. I'm in charge.
47. 47.
What?
Like with Cam Coral, I just want to see these things in action, because that is what's going to settle all of the opinions of whether a reboot is going to work or not. There are reboots that do work, such as with the Looney Tunes. The Looney Tunes is a very fundamental piece of animation to me. Television animation, theatrical, whatever you want to categorize it. However, a lot of people don't like Lunatics Unleashed, and some people don't like Space Jam, but a lot of people, especially on this channel, like the Looney Tunes show. So it shows that a very great show on its own can have a reboot or a spin-off or a continuation of the characters that we know and love, and still create a good show around it that builds its own fan base. TMNT. A lot of people like the 80s series, a lot of people like the one that came out in 2003, a lot of people like the one that came out in 2012, and a lot of people like Rise of the TMNT. And then you have other shows like the Powerpuff Girls, where a lot of people don't like the reboot that came out, and it kind of hurts what the overall series is when it comes to legacy. Because now, in addition to talking about the great original series, if you wanted to talk about the entire franchise, you would have to talk about the reboot and the quality of it. I don't like to be pessimistic when it comes to reboots, because it can lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy of I go into the reboot and I look for stuff that I don't like, and I think a lot of people are going to do that with this because of the timing, Hillenburg's passing, what they did with the Super Bowl, just the way that they've been handling SpongeBob in general. However, you have to remember that this is the same company that came out with the Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, Birthday Blowout, and is going to be coming out with a lot more stuff. So even if we do get some bad or mediocre stuff, I would also like to acknowledge that SpongeBob, right now, the modern SpongeBob, as I like to call it, has been coming out with a lot of dope stuff. So if you don't know, yes, I am looking forward to watching Camp Coral, and I'm looking forward to watch the Patrick Star Show. And if you know me and the way that I tackle how Nickelodeon may handle older properties such as The Fairly Odd Parents in Season 10, I will not hesitate to talk about these shows in the way that I perceive them to be. If I think that it's bad, you will know. because I thought Fairly Odd Parents Season 10 was bad. But if it's good, I will praise it. That's my take on it. I just want to let this man rest. I don't want to carry him on my shoulders and pretend like I've ever met the guy. All we have is some select interviews. He's a very quiet guy.
You came into my life when I thought I'd live the rest of it alone. You showed me once and for all that while money can't buy you love, it can give you love.
I am inclined to believe that executives can be greedy and SpongeBob is a show that can expand and make a lot more money, but I can also agree that the end product could be good. It doesn't have to be bad just because the executives are greedy. I think both opinions can exist and we can have nuanced opinions. It doesn't have to be black and white, all out boycott new SpongeBob developments in Nickelodeon, or I'm just gonna praise every single thing that Nickelodeon does. I think you can have a very nuanced opinion, and as someone like myself, that's what I live on. I can never be 100% with a network or not, because they're going to make good decisions in my opinion and bad decisions. It's just a clash of different philosophies of how a company should run and how a show should expand to serve its viewers and fans. So that's what I think about it. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below. This was a very impromptu video. Special thanks to Imaginative Art for the thumbnail of this. She did a really good job. If you want to follow her, that will be in the description below. Special thanks to the supporters of August. And until next time, take care. Alpha out.